we go.
Uh, well, first of all, thank you for joining us from out there in Oakland.
Thank
And thank
you.
you for
Oakland,
adjusting,
California.
yeah, and thank you for adjusting your schedule. We had the torrential storms that day and washed us out, and we had you scheduled before. But we got this recording for all of our entrepreneurship students. We got a class full here at Velma Jackson High School. We're recording for our friends at Ridgeland High School and Germantown High School and for our YouTube channel. And we've taken a look at your website and some of the things that you've put out there about fit for business and kind of your journey from corporate America to Miss Olympia to where you are now being a speaker, entrepreneur, Sheryl Grant International. So, and we've talked about a lot of the things that you talk about on the things that you publish and the things that you speak about. It's just so inspirational what all you do. So I'll let you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into how you started Sheryl Grant International and what all you guys do as far as fit for business and all the other cool stuff you're involved in.
Well, first of all, let me just say to you, Greg, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your passion for your students. And thank you for reaching out across the country to bring to them the resources that they need in order to prosper and their professional and their personal life. I want to say it's my pleasure. I can't see everybody, so I don't know how many people are on the call.
I've got
Um,
12 in here.
12. Hi, everybody. I just want to say hello. It is such an honor to be here. I want to also say that I have invited my partners who I work with, and my team is small, but it's mighty. And I work in partnership with my son, John Tay, and also with my partner Ariel, and Ariel resides in New York. So I have a great team, and I have others. It's expanded. I have about 8 or 9 that are on my team. So, what is the first thing, Greg, you want me to? Before we even get started, Greg, what is the first thing that one you would like to know about me, and ultimately for your students, what do you want them to walk away with? What do you want me and this messaging and this opportunity to share? Because I have so much and it's so broad and I could really go down any road, but I really want to know from an entrepreneurial and an objective where you would like me to go today.
Well, and we do have some questions we're going to get to, and I'm going to ask. I'm glad you brought up about your team because I'm going to ask about that as well. But when you talk about your message is fit, faith, intuition, tenacity, and that's really you don't just apply that to entrepreneurs. You apply it to mid-level managers, like when you spoke at the Dell thing a few years ago. So all of these kids here have come up with their own entrepreneurial concepts, whether they're really going to start them or not. So thinking like an entrepreneur, even if all you ever are as an employee, is just so useful and so vital to success in business and success in life. And I know that's what you did because you talked about the brick ceiling you ran into as a Black woman in sales. Even though you had a successful career, you were unable to get past that. So you started your own business. So I'd love to hear more about that and how you got into that and how you came up with your acronym of FIT.
Perfect. Well, I'll lead in. First and foremost, I want to say to everybody out there, if you have a dream, the only way that dream will ever come to manifestation is if you first believe in yourself. Entrepreneurship is probably one of the hardest roads you'll ever go down. And I'm not saying that other roads are not equally as hard. Whatever you want in life, if you want it, then it's definitely going to require some work from you. It just is. That's just life. And if you go to it from that perspective, you'll always come out a winner. And I want to say to you, what is your dream? Do you believe in your dream? If you start there and you don't allow anybody to take your dream away from you, I want to start off by telling you my story in a way to inspire you, to way to uplift you. And I want you to know that my story is not an easy one. I started off in corporate America. I worked in corporate America for 30 plus years. And I did that because it afforded me the lifestyle that I wanted to live. It afforded me to be able to put my kids through private school. It afforded me to be able to travel. So that's why I did it. But I want to say sometimes when you're just chasing money, It doesn't always bring you happiness. I know we look on social media. You guys are in high school. You guys are more connected to social media than I will ever be. My team is far more connected than I. But it often lends itself to a view and a perspective that is not always reality. So, what I want to say to you is follow your heart, trust your heart, because if you follow your heart, the money will follow.
Absolutely.
Let me give you an example. I started off in corporate America for 30 years, and I worked for companies like Hewlett Packard, Dell, Yahoo, EMC. These are Fortune 50 companies. These are some of the world's largest corporations. As I began to work with these companies, what I found is that I would walk into a room, typically a boardroom, and I would be the only person in the room. If I even dial it back, just to show you my dream, like I'm kind of fast forwarding you, but if I just scale it back to when I was your age, I started off as a secretary. I started off as an administrative assistant. And I'm going to tell you, I work for a high tech company that everybody had their college degree, they had their PhDs. It was a tech company. Hewlett Packard is a very technical company. These are engineers. I started off as a secretary with a dream to get into sales. And I was told that I couldn't do it. You don't have the education, you don't have the background, you don't have the skill set, you don't have what it takes to be a sales rep in this industry. But if I had listened to them, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Wow.
I believed in myself that I could do it. And so I sought after, and this is very important as you begin to build your legacy, no matter where you are. Your relationships are your biggest assets. You have a teacher like Greg, take advantage of that. People have networks, people know people. You are leaving a legacy, and what you want to do is leave a footprint that will make you memorable. You don't want to leave a footprint where nobody wants to work with you. That's not what you. So your brand starts now. Building who you are starts right now. So I talked about being a secretary, and I was told I couldn't do it, told the possibility would never be there. But this is where the grit comes into play. Because I believed that I could, I started building relationships. And the first person I went to told me, as a matter of fact, my direct manager said, "You're out of your league. Basically, little girl, go sit down. You're out of your league. You're never going to be able to do this." And especially being a Black woman, in a white predominant industry. And you don't have anybody. I didn't have anybody at the time that looked like me that I could go to talk to. So now you get an opportunity. You got me. And I'm telling you, you can do anything you want to do, but you first got to believe in you. So when she told me I was out of my league, I didn't buy it. Don't let somebody else kill your dream. Don't let somebody else tell you what you can and cannot do. If you believe it in your heart, then you got to do the work to do it. So I started networking. I started working with people that believed in what I wanted to do, and I created advocates. And those advocates went before me, and they helped me. So it wasn't just me talking. They went to the hiring manager saying, "She's really good. She's a secretary. She doesn't have the educational background. She doesn't have the training." I had none of that. None of that. They said, "But she's good," and her tenacity, because see, in sales, you have to have a certain tenacity. You have to have a certain grit and certain grind. I didn't let no stop me. No was not a stop sign for me. For me, it was whenever somebody tells you no, I want you to remember this. If you got a pen and pencil, does everybody have pens? Okay, write this down. No doesn't mean no. No just means not right now. Not right now. So know that you always have an opportunity. So I would continue to grow, and I'm going to go into the whole fit scenario, but I just kind of wanted to give them some contextual background in terms of some of the things I went to before I even became a sales rep, because I want you to see where I was coming out of high school, where you are, and look through it through that perspective, not where I was as a sales rep and with the house and the cars. And that wasn't me in the beginning. And bottom line is, my tenacity is what ultimately I went in front of the hiring manager, and he told me no the first time. He told me no the second time. He told me no the third time. And this is where the whole philosophy that I've now created called FIT comes into play. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But I came up with this curriculum, but I want to get there. I want to build on the story to help you see how I got to being fit, because I didn't know fit at the time. Fit was not even a concept for me at the time, but I was already doing the work of being mentally fit. Fit is a play on words. It stands for faith, intuition, and tenacity. And I just told you I had the tenacity. Also, I had the intuition to trust myself, that I believed in me. If nobody believed in me, I believed in me. And tenacity is your will. It's your willpower to just go get it done. Faith is your ability to believe in what you can't see. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. So it's like you're almost blinding your eye and you're walking by faith because you don't know. You don't know if it's going to really come out. You don't know if your business idea, but if you don't believe in it, then nobody else will. I believed in me, and it started there. Along that journey, I ultimately was able to convince the manager after about the fourth time. And then by this time, I had about 4 or 5 other people advocating on my behalf, meaning they were knocking on doors for me. She's really good. She's consistent. She follows through. She has been here every day. And it didn't take 1 month. It took about almost 8 months to a year before I could get really in a position. He said to me when I went in the interview, he said, "Your tenacity alone, I'm going to give you an opportunity."
Wow.
That's all I needed.
Wow.
Was an opportunity. Now, let me bring you forward where I am today. After working in corporate America for 30 plus years, I said I called on companies like Boeing, Nike. When you walk into these boardrooms, they're predominantly white men. And if there was a woman, I was definitely the only Black woman in that room. And I found that I got to a point where I was blowing my number out. My goal at those companies, I had to sell, and I want you to put your head around this. I had to sell $5 million in product and services to companies that didn't know me and were already buying somebody else's products and services. I had 90 days to convince them that they needed to work with me. That's the tenacity you need, and be able to create a solution to sell them. As long as I did that, I got to keep my job. As long as I did that, I got a nice paycheck. As long as I did that, I was able to hit my goal. As long as I kept to those things. Well, after a period of time, I wanted to go further. I had more in me. I had reached my capacity. And again, there goes that no. And again, I kept getting that no. And so when people talk about in corporate America that there's a glass ceiling, I say, and I've shared this with Greg, there's no such thing for Black women and women of color that there's a glass ceiling. It's a brick ceiling. There's a difference. One is penetratable, the other one is not. Have you ever been driving in your parents' car, your own car, and a rock, a tiny little pebble hits the shield and it'll crack the windshield? No matter how thick it is, if it hits it right, but you can't do that to brick. You need special tools. And then even by the time you dismantle it, there's 2 more bricks being put in its place. So I was again being met with resistance. I was again being told no. And I said, I wanna do more. I wanna become an executive. And basically I was told no. I got depressed. I got sad. I was frustrated. And with that journey, I found myself asking myself some questions. Sheryl, if you can't change the situations, a lot of times when we're met with adversity, we want to blame. It's systemic racism. Okay, let's all agree right now, systemic racism is real.
Yep.
But some systems, they're there. What are you going to do? They're there. What are you going to do? So you have to have, again, that fit mindset. Fit is a mindset that you can do anything you want if you believe. How much do you believe? I believed in me. So I decided, well, since I can't change them, why don't I change me?
There you go.
And thank you. And I decided to go on this journey. And the journey that I decided to go on was to transform my body. And I never entered a fitness competition ever before in my life. But again, there goes that fit mindset. I believed I could. I got on stage with over 2,500 women from around the globe, literally around the globe. And I became, long story short, Miss Olympia. And it really taught me that anything is possible when you believe. this has been my life's journey from the beginning when I was a secretary. It's been my life's journey when I was in my first job. They said I couldn't do it. I got another sales job. They said I could. I got another sales job. They said I couldn't do it. So I'm on a pattern that I'm proving to myself. So stop listening to people tell you about what you can't do. The interesting thing about those bricks that I told you about, that brick ceiling, was not only those that corporate had created, but I also believed it. So I created brick ceilings in my own mind. So now I got two brick ceilings to work through. I got to work through my own mind that doesn't believe in that philosophy. I'm going to tell you today, throw it out the window. Racism is real. Throw it out the window. You don't have to forget about it. That's not what I'm telling you. But what I'm telling you, you're important enough to not make that your priority. What I'm telling you is that you can do whatever you want when you believe in you. And the question is, if you don't believe in you, if you don't, then I need you to get some faith. Because entrepreneurship is about your ability to believe in the impossible. And you got to have it to that, like, or can't nobody tell you no. There's no such thing as no, because your goal is bigger than anything. And so when I went on this journey, I came up with this curriculum, and the curriculum is called Fit for Business, because out of all the Harvard and all the Ivy League schools that talk about business, they never talk about being mentally fit. They talk about business structures, which is important. I want to be very clear on something here. You got to know your business. So if you want to do something, you need to go learn that thing inside and out. You need to become the subject matter expert in that thing. So knowledge is only power when you use it. You have to be able to do the work, and everything takes work. There's no easy roads. If you want me to come give you a perspective that all you need to do is take this pill and this is going to pop up, this is the wrong conversation. This is the wrong class. Entrepreneurship is not for you. But if you believe, anything is possible. If you believe, I just said that, believe. And you first got to see it in your mind's eye, not with your physical eye. You got to see it in your mind's eye, where when you close your eyes, you can see yourself doing that thing. You can see that really coming into fruition. And a lot of times what happens when we are rejected, we personalize it. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not, I can never do that. I'm not capable. And it doesn't always have to come from, people you work with. It could come from your family. Maybe Nathan never had an opportunity, so they don't know any better. And what I want to tell you
that's the problem we have here. We know we're an all Black community, but we're also very rural. That a lot of things that other areas don't have, that other areas have, we don't have here. Now, we do have a great school district that's provided us with technology and opportunities to do things like this, but we are a very rural community, and I say all the time, it's not fair. But life doesn't come with a menu. Nothing changes in life until you change it.
Exactly. And Greg just hit that on the head. But I want to say to you, your future is bright. And I want to say to you, wherever you are, while you're out there and you're on social media, because I know that's the thing to do now, also get some education. And education, listen to some positive podcasts about people be dreaming like you. Greg is bringing you this platform where I come to talk to you and other speakers. What do you do on your time? What do you do when you're not in Greg's class? Do you go online and not only search IG and I'm not telling that IG is good, but use it to inform you. Yeah. Use it to empower you. Don't just look at other people's lives. What about you?
Yeah.
Use it as a way, as a tool. That's all it is a tool to leverage your best life. I came out with a curriculum. It's called Fit, Faith, Intuition, and Tenacity. And I teach this curriculum to help build a mental mindset, because your mind has to be right. You have to believe in you. And I have been doing this now. I launched my business in 2006. And I went live in 2017. My goal is to reach 50 million women around, and I focus on guys too. I just want you to know. But I'm particularly interested in Black women and women of color. So I'm going to pause right there because I just shared a lot with you, and I want to know. Let me get some dialogue going.
Well, one thing I wanted to ask about is right now they have an assignment on creating an organizational chart. And you talked about your team is rather small, but from what the sounds of it is, everybody has very defined roles. And because of your mindset, you train everyone to be on the same page. So when people are determining their organizational chart for their company, what kind of factors do they need to come in? What kind of factors do they need to use to be successful?
So when I started off earlier, remember I told you don't let anybody define who you are. You define who you are and who you want to be. I have a program right now where I work with millennials and Gen Z, and it's called Fit for the Future. And how I help develop them is because sometimes when you're going for a corporate job, and I'm going to answer your question, Greg, but I think this will definitely we'll get there. But when you go for a job, if you don't have the skill set that they're looking for, you'll generally get denied because they're like when I was going for the sales job, they're looking for specific skill sets. Well, on my platform, I create an opportunity for these millennials and Gen Z to gain the skill set that they want to achieve the desired results. Look for programs like that where you can get that skill set, where you can actually develop the skills. So with my team, I have these Fit for the Future where I exchange, it's a residency program where you come into my program and it's a 6-month program. And in the first 6 months, you tell me what you want to do. And I am also an executive coach. I charge $250 an hour to coach. And I coach you for free, as in like any executive who would pay. I coach you for free and give you an opportunity to work in my residency program to be a part of my team, to do what you want to do. Let me give you an example. One of the young ladies on my team, her name is Zai. And Zai really wanted to get into marketing. And her company, she works for Dell Computers, would not give her an opportunity. She kept hitting that brick ceiling. It wouldn't give her an opportunity. So I brought her on board and allowed her to do what she's passionate about. Even though she's in a totally different industry within the corporate structure, I allowed her to do marketing. And she's amazing at it. She does my newsletters. She does all this graphic stuff and she helps promote it. And she's on my team calls every Friday. And over the 6 months for her working with me and developing that skill set, she can now put it on her resume. And now when she went for the job, she's gotten 2 promotions since she's been with me. Wow. Two. So the possibility is when it doesn't exist, how do you create it? Yeah. So you got to ask yourself okay, so they say I don't have it. How do I go get it? She's now a marketing manager. Wow. Through working with me because I gave her an opportunity. So when people tell you don't have one, now you have one. I have a residency program. It's an opportunity for you. It's an opportunity for you. It's an opportunity for you. I just want them to know I'm talking to you. That's all.
Yeah, and that's the main thing is that even if the position has never existed before, if you think you can put it to good use, that's something that you can create for your business. You can follow the cookie cutter steps if you want to, but if you really want to have some innovations, there's nothing wrong with saying, like, you're right, I don't have this, let me create it.
Exactly. And so on my team, Zai does marketing for me. And Zai works at Dell Computers. I have Jazz, who does educational programming for me. She makes sure the FIT program has the right components in it. And she works for Apple Computer. And then you also get to network with these people that I have a part of my team. So they get to mentor you too in helping you. I have Shantae who does data analytics and she's amazing because one of the things is that when you have a company, decisions today are not made by emotions. Like I feel good about it or you need data. Absolutely. The data to tell you, absolutely. Not you feeling, no, but I'm really emotionally attached. It's not about emotional attachment. It's about being valid with data. And is this a good idea? And how is the market responding?
There you go.
Shantae came onto my team and she reads my Google analytics. She reads, all of those things. I have another young lady that does recruitment from me. I have another young lady that works, and all of these are in corporate and they're around the world. Some are in Philadelphia, some are in New York. Ariel, who's on this line right now, she does branding for me. Jonte does branding, and all of my team, I'm so proud of them. It's not for everybody. And just because I want to say this to you because I really believe this in my spirit. Everybody is not meant to go to Harvard. It's just not, everybody's not meant to go to Harvard. And your ability to be successful is not determined by if you go to Harvard or not. Everyone on my team happens to be a college graduate. And everyone on my team is also working on their secondary degree if they haven't gotten it. But I can tell you, they are contagious because they're also there for you. I didn't go to your traditional school. I started off, matter of fact, I didn't get my college degree till after my children were born, and I was already working for corporate. And then I graduated from University of Phoenix and I got my bachelor's degree. And then I went on to get my master's degree from St. Mary's in leadership development. So your road is not dependent. And all of this was done online. All of that was done online. So your success is not dependent upon your degree. It's dependent upon your tenacity. It's on your ability to push through and go get what you want for you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that too, because a problem, there's two big issues I see with a lot of young business owners here in Mississippi and in the South, and especially Black business owners, is one, they're more concerned about what they think is cool instead of what your market and your customers will buy to be profitable. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you like, it's what your customers like. Now, one mantra I always speak on is if people will buy it, you need to sell it. If people will pay it, you need to charge it, because that's the other thing I have is a lot of Black business owners, especially, don't want to charge enough because they're so worried about being perceived as too expensive. So what advice would you give on that? Because a lot of these kids are doing some side businesses now to make sure they're staying, to make sure they're pricing themselves to stay competitive in markets.
I would, does anyone on my marketing team want to add that, Jonte or Ariel? But I would say is know your worth. I would say know your value. And a part of that is when I said about data analytics, know your market. What is your competition? Do you know who they are? So you have a widget. I don't care if it's a cup. I don't care if it's a pen. I don't care if whatever it is, a marketing plan. You have competition. What are they doing? And it's not about, learn from them.
Yep.
What are they charging? Know what the industry will bear. Understand what you may hear this term. It's called SWOT.
Yep, we did a SWOT analysis.
Yes, SWOT: strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats.
Yep.
You need to know your business.
Absolutely.
Because when you know your business, you'll know what to charge. If you went to Starbucks today, I bet you know how much a cup of coffee was. Then how much is it at Jamba Juice? Similar. How much is it at, I don't know, there's Pete's Coffee, there's how much? They know their price. If you look at it, they're all about in the same ballpark. That's how you keep yourself competitive and not priced out of the market.
Yeah, and that's one thing. And we actually had a speaker, we had a local speaker Monday, and we talked about this. When I was in corporate sales for a while as well. And what we would do, we would actually go and pose as customers in the other stores to figure out what they were doing. And exactly. What worked and what didn't work. It's called competitive intelligence. And it's amazing how, and that's what this young entrepreneur did. She said she would actually buy products from her competitors to see what was good and bad about it. And that would determine what she could offer more to maybe charge a little bit more. Or what they were doing bad, this is a bad material. I can't believe they're charging this. I can offer the same price or charge $5 more, offer a better product, and they're going to get a better experience.
And I want, you just said something very valuable there, Craig: experience. Your customer service is everything. How you treat your clients is everything. And you want them to return. You want them to come back. So make sure that you're executing on your customer service. People buy. One of the things that I know was a part of my success when I was in sales is because I realized early on that people don't buy products. People buy from people.
There you
When
go.
people like you, they support you. When they like you, they support you. They really do. People buy products because think about it. I mean, there's at Starbucks. I'm no offense against Starbucks, but I'm not the Starbucks fan. I'm more of a Pete's Coffee girl, but that's just me. There you go. It's something in that experience for me. I'm just a pure, I don't need all the fluff coffees and the double chai. I don't need all that. I just want a straight black coffee. So they fit my demographic of what I'm looking for. Know your customer. Know your customer.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to get to some of these questions from the students. And like I said, all of these are entrepreneurship students. This first one is Rodarius Williams, and he's a junior. And he asked, what is the one specific skill you feel is most necessary to be successful in business?
Having a fit mindset. Having a fit mindset. And that's everything that I stand for. You see, entrepreneurship is different than getting a W-2 when you work for someone. When you work for someone, you still have to work just as hard and you still have to show up every day and do the work. When you're doing it for yourself, there's nobody there to tell you, get up and go get this done. There's nobody there. So your mindset is everything. Faith, intuition, and tenacity. When you have the right mindset, then as you go about your day, you're prioritizing and you're doing the most important things first. And you're not being busy for the sake of being busy. You're being focused.
Absolutely.
And you're getting to your end result. You understand your business because you have a business plan. You understand your market. You understand your customers. And you're driving towards your goal of being able to generate revenue by the services that you provide.
Absolutely.
And that on a continuous basis every day takes a fit mindset, because there's some days it's just not there. And what do? Give up? Because you will hit those points, but you have to be bigger than your dreams.
Yeah.
And when you do, having that fit mindset is everything.
Absolutely. Now, this is a great question. This is what you've been talking about. And this is Corlin Murray. She's a senior. She's actually going to Tuskegee University next year in Alabama. And she has a business concept of creative baskets and T-shirts and things of that nature, you know, even just as a side entrepreneur. But she asked, what is the way to make your business even more personable?
You are your market differentiator. Your passion. If you ever go in front of an investor, they really want to take a look at your business plan and make sure that you're knowledgeable and you understand your business. They're also going to be able to they want to look at your team and who's behind you. And they also want to be able to look at you. I can tell you, I enter more doors because of my legacy, because people know when they're working with Sheryl Grant, she's bringing 150% of her. I have, through this time, over the last 30 years, been able to develop a network that's second to none. Wow. My network is amazing. Who you know. Your network equals your net worth. Did you get that? Your network equals your net worth. You are the sum total of those you hang around. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. One of the most powerful things that I ever created in grad school was something called the C4 matrix. It's simple, and I called it C4 because it's like dynamite. It's powerful. The first C, write this down, is communication. Communication is the first key, because communication creates connection. Greg and I talked, we communicated. Through that communication, we created connection. The second thing is connection, and then it's collaboration. Because we connected, he's then, Sheryl, come in, I want you to talk to my students. That's the collaboration. And then through collaboration, you build community. And when you build community, you can move mountains, because now it's not just you. You have a network of individuals that equally believe in you. If you go to my website, I would love for you to take a look at my board of directors. On my board of directors, and I don't say this to be impressive, I say this to impress upon you the importance of the C4 matrix: communication, connection, collaboration, and community. I have on my board Antonio Davis. He is a retired NBA player. I have Devin George. He's a 3-time NBA player for the LA Lakers. I have Marcia Nelson. She is a Fortune Forbes 500. She's amazing. I have Paula De Laurentiis.
You had the program.
I'm sorry?
Steph Curry's mom recently.
Yeah, I work with Steph Curry's mom. I work with Steph Curry's sister, Sadell Curry. That's about your ability to do that C4 matrix: communication, connection, collaboration, and community.
All right. Well, we are almost out of time, but I did want to, and I had one more. This is Deja Weaver. She's a junior, and she asked, what is the most enjoyable part of your business?
Doing this. I absolutely love connecting with people. I am a people person. What you see, you will get from me all the time. It's not like I'm on today for you and then tomorrow I'm not. It's 100% who I am. I am passionate about what I do. I love what I do. It gives me life. That's how you know you're on the right path and you're walking in your life's purpose. My only goal is to educate, inspire, and empower. I want to help people transform their lives so that you live the most amazing life possible. I want to infuse in people to believe in themselves, even when the world doesn't. I want to infuse in people that anything is possible when you believe. If I encourage you to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, you will see I'm pushing out daily. I'm working out daily. I take care of myself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm very cognizant about who I spend my time with, who I hang around, what I do on my personal time off. I'm very focused, and I want to encourage you to do the same thing. And if I could leave you with anything, it's just never, ever, ever give up on you. You were wonderfully made. And this is by no coincidence or no accident that you ended up in Greg's class and I get an opportunity to talk with you. Everything is in divine order. The question is, what are you going to do with the information you've been given? What are you going to do? How seriously are you taking this information? Where's your head right now? Are you in this conversation with me? Are you here right now? And I guarantee if you are, your future is beyond bright. And even for those who not, it's still bright.
Yeah, and you answered my last question for me there, because I always, we've had guests from all over the country this year, and I always ask them about, and we're an all Black community, and we've had a majority Black business owners, and I just ask them what these kids can do to be as successful as people like you that have just set the tone for all these young Black students in America.
Yes, yes, yes. And I want to say to you, Greg, continue to do the work. I again said about community, and I really do believe that it takes a village. It's not really about a one solid approach. It's about building many different roads to an end result. And the end result is really to pour into you so that you can live your most amazing life. I don't want you to ever look at your life, no matter where you are, that's possible for somebody else and it's not possible for you. Whatever that thinking is, I'm going to tell you today, let that thinking go. I'm telling you today, you were born for greatness. My mentor is Les Brown. Many of you probably don't even know who Les Brown is, but Les Brown is one of the great motivational speakers who pulled himself up from his bootstraps to become who he is, which is a powerhouse. Les travels the globe and charges multi-millions of dollars in order to do his work. And he has always believed in me. And I want you to know I believe in you. And I'm just sharing with you what he shares with me. He told me to do this in 2006. I didn't really jump until 2017. So that tells you how many years before I actually took the jump to do the work that I'm doing right now. And I could tell you something, I've not looked back. Not one time have I ever looked back.
That's awesome. Well, we are literally out of time, but thank you so much, Sheryl Grant, for joining us. SherylGrant.com. All of her social media information is there. Great social media follow.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a blessed day, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you.